Alright guys, so here's a thought for you. Have you ever got to the point when you're going out to work and in the middle of the day you just really regret doing what you're doing? Now I'm not talking about the whole big picture of being self-employed, but do you ever get to the point where sometimes you just get bored with the same thing over and over again? I remember I got like that a good few years ago. I used to hate doing my work. It was always a case of it's very isolating. You're on your own an awful lot, so you're left with your thoughts, and it's hard to stay motivated on your own. And if it's repetitive, well, there's no excitement in that. Might be in the beginning, but after a while it starts to get old very quick. So with that in mind, like, how do you go about changing that? Can you change it even? Well, I did for myself. And you might think to yourself, window cleaning on its own is not a very exciting job. And it's not unless you're jumping off rooftops, abseiling down, and if you're on cherry pickers every now and then, that's something new. But for the most part, it's the same thing most of the time. Now, one of the things that I used to do, or that I started to do, to try and encourage myself and motivate myself and start to actually really enjoy my work, is getting interested. Actually going out of my way and choosing to feed my mind with information about my industry. Not necessarily just about my job, but my industry. So YouTube, I mean, like, look at this, check this out. How many window cleaners on YouTube watch window cleaners? How many lawn care guys watch lawn care guys on YouTube? I think lawn care guys it's a huge community, much more bigger than I probably even think it is. There's just loads of you guys out there, and it's nice because, you know, the videos that are being uploaded and people who are watching it, they're just enjoying watching other people, how they run their business, how they present themselves, how they what kind of equipment they use, how do they maintain their equipment. And there's all these different little tricks and tips that we can all take from others in our industry that can help us to reinvigorate our passion for our business. So watching videos of other guys really encourages you. I've only got a small part of my business is dedicated to lawn care, but I can tell you that from feeding myself the kind of information up here, of watching guys on YouTube and what they do with their business and the advice they give and the kind of equipment they use, has really affected my thinking as to how I want to go about making changes to my business over the next couple of years, how to go about doing that. And I'll tell you, I'm actually excited about it. Now, there's some aspects of it are going to be really, really difficult for me just because of my circumstances, but I'm determined to get there in the end. It might take longer than I want along the way, but by the end of it, I'll get to where I want to be. And that's kind of given me something to work towards, something to be excited about and look forward to. And so now, instead of dreading going out to work, dreading doing the same thing, being on my own, I have a newfound interest in it. One thing that definitely helps me now is the fact that I make videos like this, and that while I'm talking to the camera in my van as I'm driving along, what's interesting about it is that as I get a minute to myself between jobs, check my phone and I look at my Google Plus and I see if there's any notifications or if there's any comments or anything like that, and it keeps me motivated. It also keeps me in contact with people, whereas before, you know, granted you could send a text message to some friends or whatever, but when you're involved in this community, there's guys around the world, literally on the other side of the planet, doing the same thing as you, and you might get a comment from them in the middle of the day, and you're talking to somebody who's doing the exact same thing as you, has the exact same thing in common, and it's all relevant. So it's not like just texting a friend where, you know, if they're sitting in an office, listen here, I've got a huge amount of, you're not kind of having a big full-blown conversation, but those little comments that you might be able to see throughout the day, or if you make comments to other people's videos, you get a reply of some kind. Not every comment gets answered all the time, obviously, but if you're doing it on a regular basis, at least one of your comments is going to get a reply. And so you're engaging in the community, and the more you engage, the more the community will engage back with you. Whether that's lawn care, whether it's window cleaning, carpet cleaning, pressure washing, whatever it is. And that's the thing I love about the community on YouTube, is that it is not subject to just one kind of person. Most guys and a lot of the channels I watch are within the lawn care community. And so you might think to yourself, well, it's just the lawn care. That's all you're thinking about. And yet one of the guys who's got a very, very popular channel is the good old Keith Kelfis. There's a landscaper sharing his knowledge, doing all that, and yet he's a window cleaner. And he's sharing his little tips and tricks and what he's learned along the way. So the community is relevant to anybody who has the interest in others within this community. And that's pretty awesome. I think that's so cool, personally, myself. And for me, it's one way I help to keep my mind focused and motivated. And it's not just by my own actions, it's by the actions of others who make the effort to send me a comment, make a reply, or whatever the case may be. So you can do it too. And then to go even further than that, while you can watch others and all that, get interested in the technical aspects of your business. Like if I give you an example from the window cleaning side, there's a lot of different squeegees. Years ago I used to use just one type of squeegee, and now I have 3 different types. And you might think to yourself, oh God, that's a bit overkill for window cleaning. And yet each squeegee works perfectly well for its own adapted purpose. And yet taking the interest in, I don't know if there's a video on YouTube seeing how it was created, or guys who are giving their impressions or reviews or their tips on different aspects of the trade, will benefit you. And then again, it's the same with lawn care. I mean, look, my business, I already said to you, I've got a small part of the business is dedicated to lawn care, and I push around a Pushmore, self-propelled Pushmore. I have a strimmer, a brush cutter, a hovermore, a blower, and a hedge cutter, and a long reach hedge cutter. Now, compared to some of the guys that are out there, I don't have the very best of equipment, but it helps me get the job done for where I am with that side of the business now. It would be nicer to have bigger machines and stuff so I could be more efficient and get in, get out, but that'll cost more money, which means you're running bigger overheads, so you're earning less per. So it all has to balance out. But looking at what guys are using, here in Europe, in Ireland particularly, unless you're a huge company, a huge landscaping company, or you've got a lot of money to invest in equipment for lawn care, and you've got a number of crews on the road, most guys are driving around with their Pushmore doing the lawn care. And then the ones that upgrade to another level, and I'm talking about professional guys, they're generally using ride-on lawnmowers. And a few guys in the States, it's the tractor type of ride-on lawnmower, not necessarily your zero turn. The zero turn here is just, it's crazy. It's at another crazy level. I mean, like I was in a lawn care supplier, and I saw a ride-on Toro zero turn, couldn't tell you the exact model, but it was £15,000 sterling. That's a heck of a lot of money. I mean, like, you have to have some pretty big contracts to kind of fork out on money like that, or know how to invest in your business to make all of that return. So most guys use the tractor ride-on loan, but taking an interest is kind of in the equipment side of things and being interested, because what man doesn't love tools? Every man is like a caveman, and when he gets into his cave, all he wants is tools around him. And so if you've got the interest there already in tools, which most guys do, well, then try and turn that kind of interest, which is inbuilt in us anyway, and use it to your advantage to try and motivate you to enjoy your job. Look at, if maybe you're more skilled at the business side of things, take pleasure in what you're able to do. Think outside the box. Go further than that. You know, is there things that you can do that is so different from everybody else that it gives you a buzz? All of these little things can add up to really enjoying your business. And what turned out to be a mundane, miserable, isolating job originally, now looking at the different aspects and all the possibilities, becomes a much bigger, a much more happier outlook, where you should be able to enjoy, engage, not be felt isolated anymore, and make all of the good aspects of your business. Try and focus on them, and they will turn around the kind of the boredom, or the kind of if you're kind of bored with your job and you're not enjoying it. If you turn around and look at it from the right angle, you know, look at it, have the right kind of perspective, and it opens up a whole world of possibilities as to how you can really enjoy your business. So hopefully that was something to think about. It's something I think about all the time. There are days that I struggle, and on wet and miserable days, you know, I find it hard to be motivated and enjoy my job when I'm out in the miserable rain. But then, you know, whenever I'm dried, I try and focus on something that gives me joy in the job. Watching others and what they're doing. Is there anything that they do to that I can take on board and possibly adapt for my business within my means? You know, it's all about having the right kind of angle and the right perspective, and having a keen eye, and then open your mind to the possibility. Is there ways in which you can adapt that to yourself and make things work better for you? Keith Kalfas uploaded a video there this morning, and in it a guy had said, you know, he said if you're broke, it's subject to your circumstances. If you think you're poor, that's a state of mind. And that's powerful. So it's like, how strong is your mind? Are you strong enough to be able to overcome the negativity and be able to see the possibilities that are right there staring you straight in the face? Well, I certainly am trying myself, and I thought I would share that with you, because that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to see how I can turn things around and make it much more enjoyable. And it has been much more enjoyable, and I enjoy watching other videos, I enjoy reading articles and stuff like that, all relevant to my trade. So you should too. It might just make a difference for you. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching this video. Leave a comment and I will reply. Hit the like button, let people know what you think of this video. And I'll talk to you soon.